I am sensing that there's a message wanting to come through. I have no idea what it is yet, but I'm slowly, reluctantly learning to trust the process. So I'm going to tune in here and see what's wanting to come through. Sometimes I feel like the messages are overly simple, and that's a part of my resistance. But often, spirit does have messages that are simple and yet so important. And it's so funny how in our human selves, we can be so resistant to simple truths. The mind wants to make it really complicated, and part of it is this ego thing where the mind feels like it's so smart if things are complicated and difficult and theoretical, right? But the message coming through is spirit is really encouraging us at this time to not go into fear, to not go into guilt, to not go into trauma programming, is the way that they're putting it. There is an attack on the consciousness of humanity, is what they're saying. And of course, there's obviously real life warfare, which is, no insignificant thing. But they're wanting us to see that we're all under attack right now. And it's attack, for those of us who aren't physically in the line of fire, there is an attack on our consciousness, on our awareness. And spirit is saying, stay strong. Don't be lured into fear. That is a trick. That is programming. We are playing right into their hands if we allow ourselves to go into fear and guilt. Some messages around guilt have really been coming through in the last couple weeks. So let's tune into this here together. What is the message about guilt, spirit? And just like it's like something about fear, guilt, and trauma programming that go hand in hand. This is a way in which we're being conditioned. Okay, I paused the recording for a moment to pull a few cards to see if I could just feel into this energy more clearly. Oh, and first of all, since the beginning of this channel, I've been feeling very emotional. And so that's part of it. Like what we're tapping into here is a wave of emotions running through the collective right now. And it very much has to do with what's playing out on the world stage. So I first pulled an oracle card from the Citadel Fantasy Oracle, and I got the Archer. Okay, it says biding your time, planning ahead. And in the guidebook, it talks about how sort of less skilled archers will, shoot the arrow quickly, but a more advanced archer will take their time. They will really take the time to know where they're shooting, right? To find their aim. So it says the archer always knows exactly what they're shooting for. Your own pace can't be measured against that of others, and your worth is not dictated by anyone but yourself. Don't let doubt make you falter. Take your time. Your arrows will fly true when they're good and ready. Interesting. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the assassin, ruthlessness and conviction. And this is, the energy that is being shown to us on the news. Okay, spirit, tell me more. What is this about? What is the archer about? Oh, I feel like I'm going to tear up. This very tender energy, but there's also like a franticness to it. And it's like part of what's happening right now is keep hearing we're being programmed into guilt consciousness, and I'm not sure what that means. What does that mean, spirit? Like, there are other messages wanting to come through, but I want to understand what this one means because it keeps coming, but it's like nothing else is being said. So maybe you can tap in with me. What is this about? Guilt consciousness. Don't go into guilt. Don't go into fear. It's like there's programming happening. And I'm not saying that what's playing out isn't real. Like, it is real, but there's ulterior motives. There's other agendas at play. We're, I'm hearing like, don't be fooled again. We're being led somewhere. We're being tricked into something. There's an attempt to program our consciousness right now into fear. We're being offered fear. And there's a, they're trying to trick us into acting too quickly, right? Into shooting our arrows too quickly. This may have to do with money as well and finances. So don't make any decisions rashly. Take your time, right? You are a skilled archer in terms of how you lead your life. So don't allow fear programming to trick you into acting rashly. Take your time. Don't be tricked into the guilt programming. And I suspect that will become more clear over the days and weeks and months what exactly that means. Let's pull some cards on that so we can try to, and I have some other cards here I want to speak to, but whew, okay, spirit, let's see if we can understand a little bit better this guilt programming. What do you mean by that? What is the message here? Okay, they're saying we don't have a message for you. It's as simple as that. Don't be tricked into guilt programming. So is it already underway? Yes, it's happening now. Okay, that's all that's coming through. So if you know what that means, share in the comments. It's so interesting because sometimes there's this sense that, like, when we can work in this way with spirit, it's like we'll just have all the answers, but that's not how it works. It's very mysterious. And, we get clues, we get little bits of information. And, sometimes spirit knows what it's doing always, not sometimes. And if something isn't shared, there's a reason for that too. Sometimes spirit doesn't want to give us all the answers because it wouldn't be appropriate. It wouldn't actually be helpful. Some things we need to find out along the way. We need to go through the journey. So keep that in the back of your mind, something about guilt programming, and please let me know if it becomes more clear what that means. But I do have some messages that are more clear here. So I did pull 3 cards when I paused the recording there for a moment. Okay, so the Moon card reversed, the Hanged Man, somewhat similar to the Archer message, and the reverse, Daughter of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. So this message has been repeated again and again, for the last couple months. We're seeing through the illusions, we're seeing more clearly. The fog is dissipating. We're seeing the truth of things. We're seeing the extent of evil. Oh, I still have that sense of like tears are coming. And then this underlying franticness, right? And it's the message that's coming through is there's something intentional in that energy that's being induced in us. It's not to say that there isn't place for tears and pain. Of course there is. It's entirely appropriate. But it's that franticness that's being induced. And the message here is don't go into that. Bide your time, be in the hanged man as much as you can, cultivate calm and peace. That is actually how we overcome the war that is being enacted, yes, on the ground, but also to the consciousness of humanity. We are being encouraged by spirit again and again and again not to step into fear and not to act out of franticness or stress, not to make any sudden moves, especially moves that might be guided or, that might be coming from those places, fear or franticness. Okay, so have a little practice feeling very emotional as I give this message. I'm being guided to share a little energy practice with you all here that could be very helpful. So with these practices, if you're new to this kind of energy work, try to keep an open mind and give it a try and see, right? Don't determine the outcome before you try it. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but that's the invitation here. So, oh, okay. So you might imagine outside of your own energy field in front of you, a bubble, and ask any sense of franticness, of impatience, of fear, of turmoil, of stress, even of overwhelm. Imagine pouring all of that emotion and energy and intensity into this bubble outside of you, outside of your aura, outside of your energy body, outside of, I'm hearing, your containment fields, which is interesting. Okay, so putting all of that franticness and stress, that rush, the excitement, right? The excitement of turmoil is the way spirit is putting it. Put all of that energy into this bubble. Ask your guides, ask your higher self, how much of that energy belongs to me? Just trust the answer that comes. You all have the capacity to do this. How much of that turmoil belongs to me? Okay. Now imagine that that bubble has a cord connecting it to the earth, and invite any of that energy that is not yours to release out of the bubble. Ask spirit to send it back to where it belongs. Okay, or send it down to earth. She knows what to do with it. She knows how to make use of it to transmute it. Okay, look at this bubble again. See what's there for you. If there's anything left, right, then you can now more appropriately deal with that energy rather than being programmed in this way, right? By taking on energies that aren't really authentic to you. Okay, invite energy from the earth to come up into your own fields. Invite cosmic energy to come through the crown of your head. Check in with your own aura boundaries, your containment field. Fill it up with your authentic energy. Invite anything that's not yours to release down to the earth. Replenish again, up from the earth, down from the sky. You are safe, you are protected, you are contained, you are within your own containment field. Trust in the divine. You do not need to go into fear. You do not need to act rashly. Take your time, know where you're shooting your arrow, clarify your intentions. Why are you here? It doesn't need to be specific. You might be here for love. Most of us are. Let it be simple. Let it be simple. Don't act out of fear. Take your time. Well, interesting. I didn't even notice Temperance is on the bottom of the deck. The Hanged Man. Don't rush it. Take a time out. See things from a different perspective, right? When we allow ourselves to act not from rushing or fear or franticness or stress, but we take time to meditate, go for a walk, be near the water, I'm hearing. um, Release what's not ours. We can see things from a different perspective, right? The Hanged Man is upside down, seeing the world differently. There's an element of surrender here, right? The Hanged Man, that's not a good position to be in. And yet there's a deeply spiritual dimension to this card. The Hanged Man recognizes that regardless of outer circumstances, there's always the possibility to surrender to God, to the divine, to trust spirit, to trust ourselves. Page of Pentacles reversed. I'm getting that this is some kind of opportunity that may be presented to us as a collective or various collectives, different nations, perhaps. It might be governmental programs, but there's something a little shady about these offers that may come in. So it's almost like we're being set up here. We're being set up to accept an offer that's not really in our best interest. And that's why we're being encouraged to slow down, to see what we've been shown, right? To be willing to see clearly the truth of things and not accept the lies, the illusions, and to be cautious with regards to what we accept, to what we sign on to what we agree to, even implicitly, right? Sometimes we sort of covertly agree to things without even fully realizing what we've agreed to. So that's why we need to slow down here. Oh, I'm still feeling deeply emotional. So it's also a message of take time to process that. Allow yourself to feel. Don't rush through it. Wow, I was shuffling, but the Temperance card keeps coming up. We're still in Mercury retrograde, right? I've been finding myself slightly impatient with this. Like, I like the energy of Pisces, but I don't know, last little while I've been like, can we just get into Aries already? Like, I'm done with this Pisces soup. Feels like I'm being like dragged along the bottom of the ocean. And it's like a lot of this is collective energy that's being stirred up. So, yeah, patience, trust, surrender. That's really the message here. So, if there is an invitation to guilt, now, there's a place for guilt, right? For our own conscience showing us where we might need to rectify something or make some changes. But just be on the lookout for an invitation into a sort of false guilt or taking on the guilt of someone else. Yeah. Okay. What else needs to come through here? Let's see. Yeah, what else does this collective need to know? What else needs to be said about this message? Okay, so a lot of us are tired. So that's part of this like message of taking time out. Don't rush. Make sure you're resting. Get a lot of sleep. If you're listening to this message, you're very likely highly sensitive. And when the air is thick with this kind of energy, you may need extra sleep, extra like real rest, not just a break, but like real deep relaxation, deep breathing, sleep. um, don't lose hope. Okay, Two of Swords. There's something we can't see, there's something we're not seeing. It feels like there's a difficult choice. But we don't see everything, even though we are starting to see. So it's interesting because they seem to be a little bit opposed. So it's like the message I'm getting here is we have to trust our intuition that we are seeing clearly. We have to trust our own clear sight because when we're too much in the mind, we feel blocked. We feel stuck. We feel like we don't know which way to go. But we do, in the heart, we do. We know what's right. We know what's true, right? We're aiming. We know where to aim our arrow. We know how to shoot true, right? So we have to trust our heart here, even though it seems like we can't see. And more information will be revealed, especially as Mercury starts moving out of the retrograde. Okay, Two of Cups came out. This is like trust each other, one another. Stop trusting the news. And it's not that everything on the news is false, but we have to understand that it's like true information even is wielded against us. It is a weapon of war. The news is a weapon of war. Trust one another, trust people. Find people on the ground who are writing blogs about the places you're interested in and trust them rather than big media outlets. Trust your friends, your partners, your collaborators, your guides. I mean, this is a message of partnership and of two joining together, but that's what's coming through when I feel into this intuitively. It's like, I'm like seeing a vision of these two people turning away from each other and towards their screens. And Spirit is saying, it's not that there's no place for screens or technology, but they're saying turn towards one another, build connections in this way, one on one, face to face, together, and you'll overcome this turmoil I'm hearing. Okay, Death reverse. Big change needs to occur in this hearts and souls of humanity, I'm hearing. It's not just that big changes need to occur outwardly, but we all need to change too. It's time we take the power back into our own hands. And yes, of course, there are very tangible ways in which we don't have power, but Spirit is saying we do more than we realize. We take our power back one at a time and hand in hand, I'm hearing. Gather together. Your forces are strong, I'm hearing. This is a war of against humanity, but humanity shall rise up. But we have to be willing to change. Change in what way? Overcome the turmoil. Don't play into it. Don't go into fear. That is the biggest message. And that's really loud. Can you hear that? It's an airplane or something. Okay. A part of me wants to make it more complicated, but that's the biggest message here coming through. Don't go into fear. Don't act from fear. Don't be tricked into agreeing to something because you're afraid and it promises safety. Safety comes from this, from partnership, from joint operations, I'm hearing. And it's almost like they're saying, you are under attack, and spirit needs us to see this, to wake up, to see the truth, right? To take the blindfold off and to see that this war is, this isn't to undermine the real life violence that some people are facing. Okay, that's obviously more real and tangible and harmful and traumatic. Okay, I'm not trying to undermine that, but spirit needs us to see that we are under attack, that we are at war. Humanity itself is being attacked in consciousness, in energetics, in the field, on a frequency level. We are under attack. So, I don't often want to speak this way because part of me is like, that sounds fearful. I don't want to speak to messages that are depressing in that way, but it's like, we can't create a beautiful future unless we're willing to see the truth. So when we are ready to shoot our arrow, can we do it from love and for love rather than out of fear and survival and, a sort of one against all attitude? That's what our screens, our media, our many of our governments or politicians want to invite us into, turning away from one another in fear, in survival mode, fighting each other, desperately doing what we feel we need to do. That's what spirit is asking us not to do. That is actually playing into their hand. That's what they want. That's the trick. That's the false offer. Well, sounds like there are other false offers coming down the line that we don't see yet. Stay true. I keep hearing stay true. Point your arrow at what matters. So it's like we're being encouraged to not just see that we're under attack, but to see that we can fight back, but not through fighting. It's like this is the real spiritual test now and coming up in the coming months and years. Sometimes when we first get into spirituality, it feels fun or interesting, which it is, that, right? But as we go on this journey, we start to realize this is everything. This is life or death. This isn't simple or just playful. It's everything. And everything is on the line. We need to be courageous. We need to be strong. We need to fight back, not through fighting. That's how we fight. We fight this through not lowering ourselves to their frequency. It's interesting that the 10 of Pentacles is popping up here. It's like we can create true wealth and abundance for humanity, but we have to stay strong. We have to be courageous. We have to not slip into fear or hatred or guilt. I don't know. Hopefully over the coming days, this becomes more clear what this message around guilt is. So we're being asked to see ourselves as warriors of love. We overcome this battle. We win this war by standing together in courage, in love, in harmony, in unity with our neighbors, our friends, our partners. So it's like this imagery of war is coming through. I'm thinking of the planets that are in Aries right now. And, Saturn in Aries for a couple years, Neptune in Aries for a couple decades. Like, so they're bringing through this notion that we are warriors very intentionally. It's not an accidental metaphor. It's not even really a metaphor. They're saying we actually need to access the frequency of warrior in order to overcome the battle that is being waged against us. Because if out of some desire to be peaceful and spiritual, we turn away from the energy of war altogether, we will succumb to it. They will win the battle, they will beat us because we've been too afraid to step up, to take our power back, to stand strong. So we need to access the energy of a warrior, the frequency of a war, but from a higher level. We are spiritual warriors, and yeah, we might use self-defense when that's called for, but this is not violence. We are not violent, but we are warriors, warriors for peace. It takes the most courage to stand in truth for peace together, to not go into fear. This is it. This is the battleground. This is like, I'm hearing the all against the all. I don't even know what that means, but that's what's coming through. This is like the battle for the heart of humanity now and in the coming few years. Stay strong. Don't act rashly. Act from love for peace together in unity and harmony. I have a lot to say about the notion of unity. I think it can be misused, but we don't need to go on that tangent right now. The point is that we may have differences of opinion with our neighbors, but we have so much in common that is worth fighting for, that will be taken from us if we can't overcome our differences and stand together. I'm feeling really emotional right now because this is really big. Stay strong, my loves. I know you're with me if you're still here. We can do this. We can do this. We will do this, I'm hearing. But don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. Our faith is all the more important now. I hope this is landing in a good way. I hope this is helpful. Okay, anything else, Spirit? Okay, that's the message. They're with us, they're with you. Spirit is with you. Trust that you are guided. You don't need to see everything perfectly clearly. That's not how it works. Okay, even when it feels like you're feeling your way through the dark, you still are guided. You still are being led by your intuition. If you weren't at all being guided by your intuition, you never would have found this message. You wouldn't be here right now. Take your time. Okay. Don't rush. Don't rush into any action or decision. You're blessed, I'm hearing, by spirit, by your angels. You have luck on your side. It's not really luck, it's spirit assisting you. Okay. Mm. It's like sometimes I just want to do a cute little tarot reading, like, but no, somehow I'm being asked to deliver these more difficult messages, and a part of me doesn't entirely want to, but I have to trust too. Okay. I'm sending you so much love. I appreciate you so much because I know that if you're listening to this, you're with me. We're together. We're doing this together. We're strong. We are so much stronger than we realize. But get your sleep, get your rest. You'll need it. Okay. I've been hesitant to say this, but I am hearing it. We're being tested. This is a test for humanity. This is like the final spiritual initiation. Are we willing to stand up against the forces of evil, is how it's coming through. We can do this. We are doing this. We will do it. Just don't be tempted into fear. And that doesn't mean, of course, fear might come up. That's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. Just don't act from that place. That's the key. Don't act from fear. You can do the very same action from a place of love and from a place of fear, and the outcome will be completely different. Okay. If you want to work with me more directly, if you want to go deeper, I have a membership. I do one-on-one readings. Sorry, I'm like still in this emotional place. Mm, yeah, you can check the links below. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being you. Thank you for the work you're doing. Thank you for even taking the time to attend to a message like this. This is part of it. We're doing it together. We're collaborating, right? Okay. Sending my love. Until next time.